third Outward stream. In the previous 2 sessions, we covered the opening of the game with the first timed quest and my first trip into a dungeon, which also covered what to do when you get killed by things on the road. Now, I had some people following me last time, and I had someone leaving messages in chat. Thank you so much for that. That was great. I've actually removed the chat overlay because the way my setup is, I can't see when people say things during play, but if you say things, I will look at them after. And yeah, it's really great to know that people are watching. So yeah, thank you for your support. Thank you. I hope that I've got some new people. I hope that some people manage to come back again. I am running a little bit late today, a couple of hours, little bit. But yeah, so let's get stuck in today. My plan is I'm going to just do a quick run back to the cave to pick up the things that I left behind before, because carry capacity, and then I'm going to try going a little further afield, since so far we've been sticking pretty close to the starting town, and we're definitely now at the point of the game where, yeah, time to range a little further, I think. So yeah. The person who was in the chat last time, they had a couple of things said. I don't know if you're back now, but I will answer some of the points that they raised. The first one, they were asking me if I'd ever been inside a sort of cave type dungeon before, and the answer is, I mean, obviously now yes, but also yes when you asked it. I've been playing this game for a while. I definitely haven't done everything in this game, but I've done a fair amount of things. So certainly for this, the early game, I've probably done it before. You can sort of safely assume that I have. Excuse me, I'm just going to put some of this stuff away. Carrying that. I'm sure I had a reason last time when I picked up this loadout, but I don't remember what the reason was. And I'm just making a run back to a cave, so I'm just going to dump off all the things that I don't really want to carry with me. Keep one of those. Yeah. Okay. Right. Food check, water check, sell that. That's a weapon that needs to go in there. Alright. Oh. Put that away while I'm at it as well. So, yeah. Just make a quick trip down to the cave, pick up what I was missing. Oh goodness, it snowed. So, it's now winter, which means I'm going to go back inside and grab just a couple of other bits. So, there is a reason that I've been saving jam. I'm also going to grab this. So you see, it says that it protects against the cold. So I'm going to have that. This cures the common cold. So I'm actually going to bring one of those with me as well. And I'm going to bring my pots of Gabbery jam, because they also have warming properties. That's probably more than I need to carry with me for a short trip, so we'll just bring 4 of them. 4. I can do maths. So yeah, one of the reasons that I'm doing this stream is, having played this game for a while, I absolutely love it, and I felt like it needed just as many people as possible showing it off, really, because it's a difficult game to get an impression of from people telling you about it. I've seen a lot of people talking about their experiences with the game, and while they're all accurate, I don't think they quite demonstrate it
Is there not something you need?
the way that seeing it does. Sell that because I don't need it. And that actually leads into one of the other things that last week's commenter sort of brought up, which is weaponry. So at the moment, I'm using a sword and a shield as my sort of primary weapons. Now I've just got a bow, and I'm very fond of the bow. That's definitely going to be a thing going forwards. But this person was sort of saying they preferred using a double-handed sword for the extra damage, which is totally legitimate. My personal preference is actually, thus far, it's the sort of staffs and halberds. But one thing I do want to do with this playthrough is try out more weapons. I'm really looking to, you know, try them out for my own benefit as well, see if there's anything that I particularly like, but also to showcase them a little bit for anyone watching. And I would say, right, so you can see it's cold, sorry, and this is going down. So I'm going to eat a pot of Gabru jam, which is going to give me that little frost symbol in the corner there is cold resistance. And that's going to protect me from the winter for the minute. As I said, I'm not going very far just now, so I don't have to worry too much yet. So yeah, there is more to the weapons in this game than just how much damage they do. And the different weapons all have their own sort of strong and weak points. I very much would encourage anyone playing this game to try out different weapons and find out what suits best. Because different people I've found have very different preferences and approaches in this game. And you'll find a lot of people who they've found a way to play it that they like, they've found a way to play it that works, and they'll tell you about their way of playing it. And it's absolutely worth listening to that because there's so many permutations, everybody's got sort of something valuable to add there. But just because it works for somebody else doesn't mean that it's the right choice for you as a player of this game. Again, I've played this game with my husband, and we have very different play styles. He tends to gravitate to heavy armour, big backpacks. I think he ended up picking up some runic magic, so he'd sort of clomp around and everywhere. He could carry a lot of stuff, but he was quite slow. Lots of rune magic. I basically did almost completely the opposite. My sort of play style I gravitated to was very lightly armoured, very fast, lower carry capacity, but much higher mobility. And I was... Oh, more mushrooms. Excellent. There's an iron claymore, save that for later. And a sandwich. Nice. A little bit of looting. I haven't completely respawned in here. It's completely respawned in here. Okay, this is not going to be a simple looting trip, so we're actually going to leave. Do something else. So all the stuff I left behind is gone forever now. What was I... It's probably all about getting knocked out, did it? You can lose a lot of time getting knocked out. What was I thinking about there? Yeah, so yes, I tend to being lightly armoured, moving fast, lower carry capacity. And my preference, I still use magic, but my preference is actually in boons rather than runic. And you're probably sitting there and I go, magic, runes, boonings? What are you talking about? And the answer is, it's complicated, I'll explain it later. For now, you don't need to worry about it. Ah, I know what I've done. Do excuse me a second. I picked up the wrong character. That's why things aren't making sense. I have a couple of these games going at the same time, you see. So should we pick up the correct character this time and carry on where I left off? So yeah, as you can see, a couple of games going. That one's in a very similar state to the one I'm showing you now. But it's a bit further along, which is why it's the middle of winter. Well, that's good to know. How about, instead of going straight back to the cave, I do something slightly different this time. And I should talk to you about skills. Because skills are relevant in the present moment. There we go. So you can see I'm here now. I've got these things here. So I'm sort of equipped, but I'm actually just going to pop back in and grab my money. Because I'm going to need that for what I'm about to do, which is pick up some skills. And the other thing I'm going to do, having talked about weapons, is I'm going to switch this sword for this hatchet. So I'm switching here from a sword to an axe. And if you look, the background here, there's a picture which tells you what weapon group it belongs to. Always good to know what weapon group your weapon is in, because that affects what skills you can use with them. So as an axe, obviously I can use axe skills with that. Sign that into quick step 5 there. Put my weapons away and head up here. And what I'm actually going to do next, I'm going to come around here because there's one other thing I want to show you while I'm dealing with gold. That's this chap here. The fishmonger obviously sells fish and fishing harpoons and things. All of these I'm probably never going to even want to buy, even if I wasn't avoiding buying things. But he has a lot of gold ingots. He doesn't have a lot of money, but he has a lot of gold ingots. So if you're ever running out of people to buy gold ingots from, Carl the Fishmonger is your man. I'm just going to turn all of my gold back into coinage for the next bit. And we have here a couple of skill trainers. Now, these two have very different, they're the two different kinds of skill trainer. So, if I talk to Eto and ask to train with him, he'll bring this up. This guy is a full-on trainer. And you find around the world people with these skill trees. This is how you customise your character. It's how you add more skills that you can use on this bar. And as you can see, in the middle, we've got this chain here. This is called a breakthrough skill. It costs 1 breakthrough to use. I've got 3 available. So I'm not going to be buying any breakthrough skills yet. I'm going to be hanging out below the breakthrough. And as you can see here, he has 3 skills below the breakthrough. These 2 I can buy. This one I have to have this other one first. This one costs 50 silver, 50 silver, 100 silver. Fitness increases maximum health by 25 and the amount of health you restore while sleeping by 20%. I'm going to buy that. That is a passive skill, so now I am just more health. Excellent skill, just valuable for everyone. Over here, these 2 are shield focused, so that increases impact resistance while blocking, and that gives me a shield charge. Since I'm using a shield at the moment and I want to showcase things, I'm going to pick up both of these, which I can afford because, as you see, I converted all of my gold back into money. So now I've bought everything I can get off of him without using one of my breakthroughs. So just to show what the Kazite Spellblade tree has, if I mouse over, this one increases maximum health, stamina and mana by 15. So I wouldn't really want to buy that until after I've bought some mana anyway. Then above we have 2 pairs of exclusive skills, which is what they mean when they're next to each other like this. So I could buy Infuse Fire or Infuse Frost. I can't get both of those, and you can see they're quite expensive as well, these. So that's 500, these are 600, and these are 600. So yeah, for these, you buy this to break through, and then you'd have that passive, and then you could just buy these like normal, but you can't buy them without having the breakthrough first. Yeah, and it's fire or frost. You can't have both. And you need one of those before you can buy either of these. Elemental Discharge, whether you have the fire or the frost, lets you shoot it out of your weapon as a projectile. And Gong Strike is you hit your shield and it makes an explosion of that element infusion from below. Again, you can have one or the other of these, it's not both. So that effectively means there's 3 skills still locked on that tree. But that's alright, we don't want them just yet. And then I'm going to talk to Oda, the Kazite trainer.
What can I do for you?
I asked to train with him. He offers to teach me a way to use a one-handed axe to cripple and slow my enemies for 50 silvers, which I will do.
Listen.
And I earn Talus Cleaver. And this is why I switched to an axe, because I knew he had that skill. So what I'm going to do now is actually rearrange my bar a little bit to deal with these new skills I've picked up, which is Talus Cleaver here and Shield Charge there. And I can do this 2 ways. I can either go to the quick slot menu and click on the quick slot, assign skill, Cleaver, or I can go from the skill menu and I can right click, assign quick slot and click on the slot. And as you can see, those have now appeared down at the base there. So in the bottom right, you can see I've got a fully loaded skill bar for now. And you're probably thinking, what happens when you get more skills? You've got room on your bar. No, I don't. Which is why the skills that I load, although I can sort of bung all sorts on there at the moment, I'm eventually going to have to make choices about what I want to have access to in a hurry. Now, in theory, you've got 8 quick slots and you can put whatever you like on them. I could use all 8 slots for skills if I wanted. I could use all 8 slots for weapons or items. It's, it is entirely up to you what order you put those in. My layout that I use is I use the ones numbered 1 to 5 for skills and occasionally sort of items, like I've put the shield there. But my 1 to 5 are very changeable for me. I'll put a layout in there, but I'll also change that layout without thinking too hard about it. And I try to put them in roughly the order that I'd want to use them in a fight, because then whatever layout I've got in there, I can sort of rely on a muscle memory of press 1, then 2, then 3. At least try and get something like that going. Similarly, because of muscle memory, I try and be consistent about what I put on the R, T and Y ones. Y for me is always a healing item, and that's so that if I need healing, I know to press Y. But at the same time, if I don't need healing, I'm very unlikely to press Y by accident. I lost a few healing items when I had them on R because I'd hit it by accident when I was aiming for something else. So yeah, I've sort of keep that consistent, and then usually I have weapons on R and T because they're not a very big finger movement to switch weapons, but again, I'm unlikely to hit them by accident, but it's less disastrous if I do. Oh, but we're in the right game. I've got a dead bug. So there's a logic in how I lay that part out. Talking about people playing the game differently, I do believe some people have mods that increase things like the size of the quick slot bar. I personally have absolutely no interest in that, which actually brings me to the third thing that last week's commenter raised, which was to do with light and lighting. And as they've accurately pointed out, a lot of enemies see your light. So if you're running around in the dark with a light on, you are visible. And some enemies, quite a lot of enemies, will react to the fact that they can see your light. And what this person was suggesting was, if you don't want to be seen, you can, instead of turning on the light, adjust the game brightness. I'm not really interested in doing that. Let's check what I need for that. Small sapphire. So if I find a small sapphire, I need to go back there with it. I don't need to, but I want to. Yeah. Part of my interest in playing this game is playing within the constraints of the game. And for me, that includes, it's too dark, I can't see what I'm doing, or those bits. Things like it's too dark, it's too heavy, there's not enough quick slots. Like, I find those features, not bugs. I have to choose between it's dark and I can't see, and I have a light but enemies can see me. And like I said earlier, that is a way of playing that works for me. It's how I want to play the game. It does not mean that you have to play the game that way. Certainly for this series, I'm trying to show the game rather than how to get around it. So even if I wasn't naturally inclined that way, I'd probably avoid doing it. But again, in your game, you're free to do whatever you like. Whatever mods you want, whatever adjustments you want. It's a game, have fun. I think that's something people can forget sometimes with games. It's not always about winning or being the most efficient. It's about doing what you enjoy. I play this game because I enjoy it. I enjoy exploring. I enjoy sort of slowly building up. Ugh. Why are these things so heavy? Oh gosh, I left one alive last time, didn't I? So the axe, you can see, is doing a lot bigger swings than the sword. I completely failed to use any of those skills I was talking about. Good job, me. I think I quite like the axe, actually. It's got a good heft on it. I'm going to drop tridents. They're stupid. Get some more wood. So yeah, I'm in it to sort of explore, experiment, have fun. You know, I'm not gonna get upset about whether or not I've done things as effectively as I could. And I find that that's, for me anyway, again, not necessarily for you, but for me, that's the attitude I need for this game. It doesn't really matter exactly how things are going. Let's pick up the plant shield again and drop off this food waste, because food waste is terrible. Okay, and there we go. Just sort of done a little run round, picked up some bits and bobs. All those bits and bobs again. Let's see what we're looking like. I think it looks like time to drop off another trident. And another trident. And yeah, that's about the shape of it, really. Been through, looted the place, grabbed everything I was going to grab. Just leave behind all the tridents because they're rubbish. Heavy, heavy rubbish. And as you can see, I bought some new skills. So I'm just going to head back to town and gear up for a longer expedition. So just check. It is day 8. This is what the map looks like when you're indoors. No convenient indoor mini maps. Just got to navigate. But again, at this point, I practically know my way around Blisterborough without having to think about it. It was a bit confusing at first, but the way it's designed, you will eventually end up back at the entrance. It's hard to get permanently lost. So yeah, we're going to try out the axe for a little bit now that I've got a skill for it. I'm definitely liking the heft on that though. I'm feeling a bit more oomph than I did with the sword. So actually here it's saying two-handed weapons deal more damage and have more reach than smaller weapons, but you can't wield things in your offhand. Which, you know, that is a key point. I've got a shield at the moment that I want to use. And there's quite a few other things you might want to get offhand, including, in some cases, magic. So let's just head back to town now. Eat that mushroom bar. And run Jureki. Get my health back that way. Right. Hopefully I find some new clothes for this character soon, because I don't want to get mixed up between characters again. That was embarrassing. I don't think I really need this, so let's equip that. I can see all right in the night time here. Ooh, pearlbird ahead. Now, because pearlbirds tend to run away when you shoot it, when you attack them, I'm going to shoot at the pearlbird and miss. Arrows actually have trajectory in this game, so you have to aim slightly differently than you think you do. See, now it's in running away from me stage. Can't be bothered hunting it down. If I get a good shot, I'll take it. There we go. Got it. There we are. So yeah, I can sort of see what I'm doing in the moonlight outside. Enough for a relatively safe piece of terrain anyway. And there's the lighthouse, which, as I've said before, acts as a great beacon to tell you where Ciezo is in the dark. I'm just going to direct the arrows. I actually forgot on the way out, there's one more person I want to talk to about skills. What did you say? One more person? Who could it be? Well, I learned my first skill from the gate guard, so I'm going to talk to him again, because he's actually got another skill, if I remember right. Hello, Burak.
Need something?
Want to train with you. So he's going to teach me a two-handed sword skill,
Now listen close.
which I'm not going to use at any time sort of, at the moment, I haven't got a two-handed sword, I don't think. Picked it up in the other game, not this one. But it'll come in handy later when I want to showcase that. And because I'm not buying things, this is what I'm saving my money for. Skills. Lots and lots of skills. Like, other than cost, there's no reason not to buy all of the skills that don't require a breakthrough. Cost is itself a bit of a barrier, yeah, but we will be fine. Okay. Right, let's have a quick check. Yeah. Here's what I've got equipped. Now then. Hang on to a quarterstaff. I'm going to keep using my mushroom shield, I think. Yep, that's all fine. That can stay. I'm just going to take 2 of the iron scrap to make arrows with. Bedroll, yeah. Hide. Store it. Store like that. I can't be bothered cooking just now. Got plenty of things. Let's chuck them all away in there. Iron spikes, but I don't have any trap triggers just yet. So I'll probably flog those, since they're not much use without the trap triggers. So I'm just checking what I've got, what I'm carrying. Thinking about a longer journey. So we want 5 of them. I've got 3 of them. Let's add a 4th. I've got water, I've got bandages, healing potions. Yeah, I think that should just about do me. But that said, I'm just going to be careful because I don't know when winter's going to start, so I'll bring a couple of jams with me. Right, so if I go to my crafting menu, just make those arrows. And then in my inventory, yeah, got almost 2 stacks, that's fine. Sell my iron spikes. And then it's time to head out further. So my currently I've got 86% on sleep and drink, 95 on food. That should be alright for a little while.
What can I do for you?
Hello.
All right.
Buy these spikes. I need money. Yeah, I'm still showing as well rested. Okay, so there's a couple of places I could head to. I'm thinking Izan. Remember Izan? He told me about a stash of things he had, which are on the other side of the map. And I know of a bandit camp that's always fun to raid. Well, fun for me anyway. It's not the one from last time, that one's big and nasty. So, let's have a little look at the map once I'm outside and see what my options are. I can probably only do one of them without having to go back, just because of carry weights again. So I'm here. I don't want to go there. That's the bandit camp. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Oh, I think the one I'm thinking of is closer. No, it is that one because of the bridge, yes. So actually I want to head around the same way anyway, because that's the shipwreck that I want to go to. So, I want to basically head sort of east and south until I'm reaching a path around the Conflux Mountain, then head east and then sort of south again past this lake. So I'm currently facing east, and that's just looking at the roads as well. So at the moment it's kind of follow roads towards Conflux Mountain. I've achieved more Gabaris. I'm not going to bother with that bird, unless it comes and bothers me. First time I ever got knocked out in this game, it was right about there to a pearl bird. So yeah. Now the fact that the Gabaris and the pearl birds have respawned is a sign that I need to keep an eye out for bandits and hyenas as well. I think we should be alright. I don't see anyone directly at the crossroads. So yeah, there's the Conflux Mountain, recognisable from a distance. Ah, there's a bandit. So if I just drop that, do me a little rage there. That bow. And one of the reasons I love bows is that they are a great way to separate bandits that come in pairs. Right, shall we try number 3? So his weapon's pretty slow, isn't it? Oh, shoot. And that was a perfect example of why you don't want to get accidentally stuck on a button you didn't mean to press. So I'm just going to leg it up here and down a healing potion. And hopefully I'm fast enough that he doesn't kill me. Oh, come on. Well, that's done poison to him, because that's a special property of the shield. I'm just going to block for a little while. And as you can see, blocking is costing me stamina. But given that he's leaking health, I think he's going to run out of health before I run out of, stamina. Just going to eat some jerky. Real quick there. So that fight didn't go great, but anyone that you walk away from, frankly. And it was a good example of why healing potions are not always the most useful thing. Like, you know, I've got them there for situations like that, but that pretty obviously was not ideal. He was carrying a mace, and you look at that, that's damage 22, impact 25, attack speed 1. If I compare that to what I'm carrying, so that's got a higher damage and a higher impact. And impact is what knocks people over. It lowers. You've got a thing called stability. That's the white bar at the bottom. And when that runs out, you fall over, and impact affects that. But my attack speed 1.1 is a little bit higher than that. And also, I've got a skill for the axe, which is pretty important. So I'm going to hang on to that for a while. And I use the shield skill as well. And again, looking at my shield, it says inflicts poison on shield charge. So I used the shield charge skill. If I go in my skills for a minute, shield charge. Rush forward to hit foes with your shield for high impact, can hit the target twice. So that's something that happened there as well. Okay, I'm just going to bandage up so I can heal a bit faster. Now, that was a bandit lieutenant I was just fighting. I think I can probably take out the other guy a little easier, because I doubt that he's a lieutenant. There's usually only one of them. This guy looks more like an archer, or possibly just a regular old bandit. I'm going to shoot him as he approaches. And yeah, you can see that he's already not in what you call great shape. I'm bothering my shield here. There we go. So yeah, he was a bit easier. Shields are good. And he had arrows, so that's nice. We'll equip those. A couple of bread, some linen cloth. So I've got a ways to go yet. I'm going to break down this machete and this mace. 5 kilograms. I'm not going to make it with that shield either, and I've already got one at home. So those are all just going to become scrap metal. There we go. Resume my jog along this road towards the mountain. So as I said before, this is the first time on this stream that I'm really going a bit further afield from my start point. I've stuck quite close to Cierzo until now. You know, there's a beach you can access from there, there's a cave, there's the Trog Cave, and then, of course, obviously the bandit camp over the river is kind of as far as I went, and I didn't go that far on purpose. So I'm just sort of taking myself along. Excuse me a sec. Settings, sound. Just have concerns about the music volume. There we go. My first stream, the music volume was drowning me out. And it's very nice music, don't get me wrong. Like, I'd rather listen to the music than listen to me, but it's actually on YouTube, the music. Open Hollow Trunk, we've got mining picks and fishing harpoons. I'm actually going to leave those there. I don't need them, and they're quite heavy. Yeah, the music's actually on YouTube if you want to listen to it, which you should. The soundtrack for this game is excellent. It's one of my favourite things to just sort of pop on in the background. Come down to this little beach, and from here you can actually see that bridge and that bandit village that I was in the other week. So this is like the other side of that river. It says river water. I'm going to come down, fish a little bit, get some boots I don't need. Ooh, shrimp in the sand are pretty good though. I'm going to disassemble these boots. I'm not turning any cloth into bandages just yet because I've got bandages and cloth has other uses. So there's the Conflux Mountain up ahead. And the terrain is going to start getting interesting in a minute. So, earlier I mentioned magic, and you'll have noticed that I don't actually have, at the moment, any magic or mana. This game starts you off without those things. You are an ordinary person. That's part of the conceit of this game. But there is magic, and the magic is in there. If, like me, you have the Soroborians expansion, then there are other places that you can get magic. But that's not nearly as much fun. Pressing the wrong buttons again. This guy's a spear halberd wielder. It's a halberd, not a spear. Whatever, it's a long weapon, it has reach, which means that actually I can make him sad by getting a bit closer to him. This guy have a shield bash. Can't remember what it's called, but you can have one. And I'll hamstring him as well. And then I'll give him a kick. So you can see he's got a white bar showing his stability. And that just knocks him down. Knocking people down is pretty effective. Okay, let's have a drink and some pungent paste, since we're down a bit of main health and stamina there. What we got? Arrow, salt, halberd with a French name. The makers of this game are Canadian, which explains all of the French words, but I am not going to mangle it any more than I have to. They tried to teach me French, but like at school they tried to teach me French, but it did not take. Adventurer's Corpse. Loot. Oh no, I'm way down. That's right. Sort this out now. Right. So I'll just sort this out before I go into the really interesting terrain. What we got? Equip. 2 sets of looter armour. How does that stack up against my makeshift leather? Well, it's got lower resistances, lower impact resistance, same cold weather defence, no pouch bonus, and the same durability. It is, put simply, rubbish. So I'm going to dismantle it for spare parts. And would you look at that, I can carry things again. Got some Ghost's Eye. Ghost's Eye is pretty neat. That's an ingredient used in alchemical things. Gathery jam, gathery bread. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're doing all right there. We've got these gatherers here. Right. So let's have a look at this terrain. So as I was saying, the Conflux Mountain has like magic inside it. If you want to gain magic, you actually have to go inside the mountain. And there's a chamber in the middle, which we will see later on this stream. I'm going to get magic eventually, but not necessarily this one today. But that explains why, when you come near the mountain, all of the grass around it is this weird shifting purple, which I love it. It's sort of simultaneously beautiful and unnatural. It's like an oil slick kind of sign it is. Southwest of Vendavel, northwest to Cierzo. I'm not going either of those ways. I'm going east around the mountain, as planned. So yeah, it's got that kind of rainbow shine of an oil slick, and that saying, "Oh God, the environment, this isn't right." And I love it. I love that the colour shifts as well. Look, you can see it passing through in waves. And here we have a turnip, which is a new vegetable for us in this stream. So there's the turnip. Bulbous root vegetable with minor restoring properties, and you can see it's quite heavy actually, so I'm not going to pick up too many of those. Not in one go. And you look around and you can see there's a path going up the mountain. There's another path over there. We're going to stay on target this time, but these are all, noted for later. Out here we get our first sight of one of the other really big landmarks for orienting yourself, which is over there. You see that? Hang on, if I get the bow out, I'll zoom in on it. That is a vigil pylon. All of the areas have a vigil pylon somewhere, and it's tall and really distinctive. So I can go on the map, and there's the vigil pylon. There's Conflux Mountain, there's the vigil pylon. Conflux Mountain, vigil pylon. Help me work out where I am on the map. And here is a supply cache, which has tripwire traps, iron scraps, and bullets. Excellent. There's other smaller landmarks that aren't on the map that it's worth noticing. Like I say, up there you can see there's a little bit of metal work and a path up with an arch. There was a path with an arch. There was over there you can see there's a bit of a structure. There's one thing this game is missing, it's a jump button. Sometimes you just want to jump over the ruins, And this is like a little way marker. There's quite a lot of them in the swamp region which guide you to the city. So over here there's a sort of caravan and a tent, which are themselves a bit of a landmark and also a source of things. So I've gained dark green garb. I like the look of it. I don't know if I already have some of that. I've got excessive amounts of arrows. Oh shoot, and now I've got some doggies. Who doesn't like being attacked by a pair of angry hyenas? Right, well, one of them's poisoned now, so hopefully that'll give me a little more edge. Yeah, I'll kick that one. Oh no, I'm out of stamina. This is why I like to drink water before getting in a fight. Because fights eat stamina faster than health. And losing stamina quickly leads to losing health. So bad doggies. So yeah, this is the main problem with exploring. It's very easy to pick up way too much stuff way too quickly. Probably going to have to do some carrying triage soon. Okay, let's make some iron spikes to reduce what I'm carrying a bit. So this is the lake that I was talking about earlier. I'm sure you remember me mentioning. There's a sort of fence there around the base of the mountain. Something over there with domes and spires. As I say, there's a lot of things that you can just sort of look at and note and go, well, all right, so around here there's some stuff there and some stuff, and it's not necessarily on the map, but you can see it, you can recognise it, you can say, okay, that's something that I can come back to then. Good. Bandit there. Could fight them, could avoid them. I'm going to try going with avoidance, to be honest. And grab. I'm already carrying a lot of stuff and I've not even hit anything I came here to loot. So I've had something to drink. I've had some jerky. I'm going to approach my way around this corner. Because that looks like a pretty well equipped guy with an armoured hyena. Do a little sprint to get me out of range. There we go. Yeah, you don't have to fight everything in this game. Especially not if your backpack's already full of junk that you picked up. Okay. I might have to tear it apart whether I want to or not, It's not like I was ever going to wear it. I'll make a couple of bandages. Speeds me up a bit as well. And that, as you see, that's knocked me right back down weight-wise. Oh, come on. That's what I get for not paying attention to my surroundings. There was another one, I'm sure there were two. They usually come in pairs. There it is. So you can see the white bar goes down and then I knock it over. That's impact at work. Right, bung this on. And what I'm actually just going to do is just go to my skills a sec so you can see. Enrage increases the impact of my attacks so I can knock things over easier. And the Tellus Cleaver reduces their mobility, inflicts effects, pain and cripple. So what those are both do, so that one knocks enemies back, and then, yeah, that's high impact. So yeah, what all these are doing is giving me an advantage rather than extra damage. They're doing a variety of things that make it more likely that I'm going to outmaneuver and knock down my opponents. we have a shipwreck over here, which is what our good friend Yazan mentioned when talking about his stash. And it's raining on me. Brilliant. Doesn't like being rained on. I'm soggy. Mine this salt crystal. I tend to mine everything I come across because there's a kind of beetle that you get by mining things, and I want as much of that beetle as possible. Gather these fish. More boots. More seaweed. And then there is a chest over here. So yeah, my miner's here. Because this hasn't even shown up in my quest log. So anything, yeah. So here's the stashes I'm talking about. Find a hidden compartment. So yeah, if you don't jot down notes, you wouldn't remember necessarily where this is, what it is, or that the clue he gave was the moon ruling the stars. So I'm just going to pick up some bits there. And there's the shipwreck, so we're down here, and there's a bandit camp just up there, which I'm going to head towards now. You may be thinking, but you're moving so slowly, Kellen, what is even the point? So that's a dagger. And that only works in conjunction with dagger skills. It's an offhand weapon, so I'm going to try and hang on to it. It's a little bit difficult, I know. Let's bring that up to 10 bandages. Disassemble these boots. I'm actually gonna I can hear the noise of something trying to fight me, but I can't see what or where. Unless that's coming from somewhere else. Hear that sort of click whistle noise, yeah? Could be a trap, could be a bow and arrow. Yeah, so that anyway, that's bandit camp there. I'm climbing up this hill here. Hill, mountain. I know I can do it. Come on. There we go. So you sort of get a view above it. And this is one of my favourite bandit camps to actually hit sort of early game, because you can do this. You can get above it and sort of sneak up to it. Fantastic, right? Look at that. Okay, so I have water, got my backpack, pull out my bow. Again, I've heard of Honor. But what's Honor to a camp of dead bandits? See, now he knows that someone's shooting at him. Just go behind a tree, didn't I? Nothing else, I'm softening these people up. Come on, you. It's not as if I'm short on arrows right now, is it? A bit more arrows. Come on. But yes, it's literally just me sitting at the high ground taking pot shots at every bandit I see, because eventually they find their way up to you. But not until you've taken a good amount of their health off. Alright, that's 2. Can you see any more from here? Okay, I think we're going to have to move along a little. Need to move a little bit further, and I'll drop some of the heavy things that I don't want just in this flat spot here. And come back for them later. Again, like with the cave, but I'm definitely going to have to drop things. Right. You dropped. You. That. Like I said, the turnips are actually pretty heavy, so I'll drop them. I'll drop the bedroll. Wow, the fish is pretty heavy as well, actually. I'm just going to head over here because this is a rich iron vein. Ha! I got a gravel beetle! That's what I want when I do mining, is gravel beetles. And with that acquired, I'm actually going to drop that as well. Loot bandits. Turn their gear into iron scraps. Turn iron scraps into iron spikes. What have we got here? So that would give me more impact resistance in cold weather defense. It's probably more immediately useful. I'll put that on then. And I'll drop my hat. And I'm planning to come back for all this, so it's not hopefully going to disappear on me. It says it's 6:20 in the evening, which means that I've spent the best part of an in-game day now on this trek. Bridge up there. Have a plan. Ooh, there's a couple of guys just down there. So what I'm actually going to do now is deploy a tripwire trap. Giant bug there. That's not. Just deploy that there, why not? Got some wooden spikes in it. So these guys have been fighting the pearl birds and winning. Ha! I shouldn't be fighting with my backpack on, that was a mistake. Should we do that again, do you think? Worked well last time. Put an iron spike in it this time. Drop the backpack. Let's not make the same mistake twice in a row. Hey, sunshine. There we go. These boys here are just demonstrating why I love raiding this camp. Now what's that? You're all easily lured out one at a time. I'll just head down this way. Shield, bolt rags, spice bottle, oil. And there's actually a spike trap there, so let's avoid that. some more things apart. Look at this, I'm not even using my lightning rods. I'm just going to sneak because I'm pretty sure I haven't got all of them. There's got to be some more around here. Ah, there's one. It's going to be a pain to shoot from where he is, so I'm actually going to barrel straight in for melee here. There we go. Nice bit of melee. Grab this thing. Do a spot of looting. Turn a light on. And just mantle a sword. What we got? Delicious, nutritious. More iron spikes. There we go. Okay. I think that probably deals with this camp for the most part. Just going to tread carefully here because I know there's traps around. Shit, right there, nearly trod on it. What we got? Ooh, a pistol. Tiny aquamarine. Fang club, stealth potion, life potion, iron spikes. Now we're going to take all of that because it's all good. Click that to learn it. So the Fang Club requires a mace, predator bones and linen cloth. I'm going to just do a little experiment. With an axe, predator bones and linen cloth. No, it does not like that. How do you hop in? No. Okay. Fine. So be it. Ooh, and we have to do another gear dump. So yeah, that's what I just did there is something that you can do with crafting recipes because it doesn't use up things when you fail, which is if you have a recipe for something like a Fang Club, you can try it switching out, switch out the club for an axe, see what happens. Doesn't necessarily do anything, but you never know. Over here we have a cook pot which could come in handy. I think I have, 3 wood makes a campfire kit. Just going to put a campfire down. That's it. Got the campfire. Yeah. Alright. Put the cook pot on the campfire. Let's see if I can make anything. Raspberry jam, cool. Pungent paste, even better. So what I'm really hoping for here is to reduce curry weight by turning things into food. Which, okay, that's worked a bit. I'm definitely better off than I was. The other thing to do, I think, is drop a lot of these. How many of these? Right, let's move 15 for now. Right. Yeah, I thought so. We do have an extra bow, so I'll drop that. Got no water. Drop that, and then drop that. And we're going to drop all of these iron spikes as well for now. Okay. Right. Oh, I've warmed up too much. I am hot. So I'm just going to check in here. Need to be ready because there could be bandits inside. Looks like I'm clear on the bandit front. Yeah. So, just do a little walk. Yeah, it's fine. You're probably wondering, what's that over there? The more attire, injured clothes. I'm going to leave the clothes behind for the moment, actually, because wait a minute. Now, what we have here is a cell, and the cell contains a horrible, grubbly monster. Not camp key. It's fine. Yeah, I am not going to be opening that door because on the other side of it is a gribbly monster called a Wendigo. And I am not fighting a Wendigo. Not now. In the future I will fight a Wendigo. More than one Wendigo, in fact. But this is not the time for fighting Wendigos. So, it's the middle of the night, I'm carrying too much stuff. I've got to make my way back to Cierzo. I'm out of water, which is a pretty severe... Oh! Why am I picking up arrows that I lost? I don't need them back. It seems untidy to leave them lying around. Right, the bandits that were chasing me earlier, I'm going to climb up the side of here. Just going to take a little jog along this way. The item stash. Somewhere in here, I dropped a bedroll. Oh, There it is. Improvised bedroll, thank you. Right. Got those arrows. Stuff. Okay. Right. So I should now be in reasonable enough shape, yeah. To make decent speed. So I'm going to head back to Ciezo like this. And if we look again, I'm here at this bandit camp. The Conflux Mountain is there. So just west of me. So I'm basically in between these two here. Probably here-ish. There's that bridge that you can see there. Some ruins. But actually, probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop. I already went this way around the mountain. I'm going to loop around the other side of the mountain and back up to Ciezo. That's the plan. I'm just going to keep an eye open for dangers because I'm not really looking to fight anything else right now. If I kill it, I'll loot it, and if I'll loot it, I'll slow down. Just use the sprint key here. So, again, my knowledge of the local terrain is actually going to come in handy now. Whew. Because I have a plan. And the plan does not make the least bit of sense on the basis of what we've already seen. So you have to be careful around this area because sometimes there's a Wendigo on the loose. And as previously stated, I don't want to fight a Wendigo. So what we got? Yeah, 103. Down some health. I'm 57% on sleep. I'm out of water. Really, what I could use is a rest stop before getting back to Ciezo. And happily, I know just the place nearby. So I've just ducked under that bridge. You can see Vendaval Fortress over there. That's another place I don't want to go just yet. So I'm going to try and get up this hillside, which if I'm more patient I can do quite easily around this way. And jog my way up here. Run, 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 run. So that bridge there, as you can see, leads onto the Conflux Mountain. Again, probably going to be relevant more later. For now, it's just more landmarks to pay attention to. There's things happening over there. Here, I'm going to mine this mana stone, and you can... Oh, I don't mine it because I haven't got my mining pick because I left it behind because it weighed too much. You can see the vigil piling up in the distance there. I'm actually going to head further back. This lantern, it's not helping at all. So I'll just equip my shield instead. Okay, I've got some oil, so I'm just going to refuel my lantern. I've used it a fair bit lately. Over this way. I want to get trapped in ruins. So I may go down the hill. This is a bit easier in daylight because there's actually a path that you can see. But up here we have a supply cache, a safe resting spot, and a well. So I shall fill that. Put down this bedroll here. And I'm going to just grab some wood and make another campfire. Pop the campfire down there somewhere. Find a good spot in the dark for a campfire. Nothing will go wrong. There we go. And then I'm going to have a little lie down. Do some sleeping. Here we go. Ooh, and I'm hot. So I'll just extinguish the campfire. Now let me check the state of my items. They are... things looking a bit beat up over here. Checking our vitals as well. But yeah, okay, so these things are looking a bit beat up. So I'm actually going to use the bedroll again for repairs. I don't want to do too many repairs because I'm on the way back to civilization. If I take 3 hours for repairs. Then that should put my equipment in slightly better nick. So if I look now, did I hit repair? Did I hit sleep? Oh well. Never mind. What I am going to do is check my vitals. I could use something to eat. I'm going to eat this. I'll have something to eat. I'll have something to drink. And then I will check this cache. Nothing worth getting too excited about just yet. So yeah, that requires a fire reload skill that I don't have. But I'm going to hang on to it, and when I get back to picking up those bullets again, I'll hang on to them. So, if I click on my vitals, is it? No. Oh, yeah. Effects. So I've actually got a mana recovery effect at the moment from that food, which is doing absolutely nothing. because I don't have any mana, because I haven't been in the mountain. So I think today what we're going to do is I'm going to make it back to Cierzo, take this load off, and then call it a day. We can come back next time to collect the things I left behind. And then after that, it might be time to think about tackling the mountain. Obviously, there's quite a lot of the outside I haven't explored yet, but I think it'd be nice to pick up some magical odds and ends. And yeah, if I can take on that bandit camp, then I'm probably capable of at least one of the mountain paths. Turn it there. Again, not picking it up. Not even carrying enough stuff. Let's put that in there for now. Just checking. So obviously the food goes off a bit as time goes on. Got auto run going. Stealth potion. Probably going to sell that. Hospital. Will be good. Use that for health potions. Gabbly wine also really Gabbly wine, you can't make it. It's really good. Like, it's a base for in alchemy. You use it as a base for a lot of weapon varnishes, which work a lot like the rags but last longer. So just going around the mountain. At some point we're going to hit that crossroads where we've been before, and then it's just sort of back to Cierzo from there. An awful lot of navigating in this zone is just going round the mountain. And again, people get rather frustrated in this game with the lack of fast travel, I think. And I can understand that, honestly. I'm never upset about it because frankly, I like the scenery. I press auto run because I don't want to hurt my fingers, but it is just a nice kind of stroll. So I've got pain, reduces physical resistance by 25%. That's one of the things that I do with my axe move, is apply that to others. So, talking of landmarks you remember, does anyone else remember this wagon that I went past earlier? Yeah. I picked up some clothes from this adventurer's corpse, because that's one of my landmarks on the way home. And there's some bandits I killed earlier. So yeah, now I know that I'm going along this road. What I'll do actually is add to this map. So I came up all the way down near these ancient ruins. That was where I rested round here somewhere. So there's a good camp spot there and a well. And again, I'm just putting markers on the map by right-clicking to bring up the wheel and then left-clicking to select the markers. So I've marked that because wells of fresh water are a valuable resource. Hey, look at that. You remember I ditched my thing earlier? Picked up a new one now. Now that I'm closer to Cieza. Haven't got as far to go. Won't bothering me less. So we've got bread, we've got Gabi tartines, and bubbles. So yeah, I'm going to spend a bit of time fixing all of this stuff up, but that was a pretty profitable trip, really. Not even counting the stuff that I've had to leave behind, because I am going to go back for it, but you can see why, for some people, more carry capacity is a big deal. I'm not particularly fussed. You know, I've left things back there. I will go back for them, but if I never do, I'm not going to be that upset. Most of that stuff was common or replaceable in some way. I'm here fighting. This is going to be bandits versus hyenas or something again. Who's fighting? Where are you? Whatever. Just going to keep trudging back to Cieza. So yeah, some of this is going to be sold, but some of it's going to go into my stash for later work. One-handed axe, specifically. So I'm going to use the jogging. I think we're probably about the point where tackling the mountain makes sense. It'd be nice to have some slightly better armour first, but since I'm relying on what I find, I'm sort of stuck with what you get, really, when that's the case. And definitely, I've got the scavenger boots, I've got the looter mask. I've picked up skills this time round, practiced using them a little bit, which actually the skills just puts me in a much better position. As does the bow. I find this game at its most difficult before I get the bow, because tactically speaking, you can use the bow for ambush, you can use the bow to separate when you've got two enemies, use it to draw one out. It's my favourite weapon. And again, that's personal preference. You do not have to like the bow, you do not have to use the bow. I was using traps earlier, which also can give you a pretty good advantage. I think, in this game, being a bit sneaky and using that kind of advantage, I do strongly advise it. But hey, you want to armour up and charge screaming at people like a Viking? You do you, What is the worst thing that is going to happen?
I help you? Curious.
Okay, he doesn't run any service yet. I'm carrying some, which is why I thought I'd stop off and ask. Alright, if we head back up to the main house. Oh no, I droop. There we go. Open stash. Just put away lots and lots of things. That's all for now. Going to do a little bit of crafting, I think. But putting everything away is just sort of my starting point here. Right. Let's gear up for doing a bit of crafting. So what's the time? Bit of crafting. Okay, so we're going to want to cook those. Like that with. Bring a couple of those. Okay. Bread. 1 Gabbery jam. Bring that along. That, and then that. Okay. Okay, I think that's all of the. Bring that as well. Yeah, bring all of them. Right, yeah, I think that's all the directly food items. So let's turn them into the things. Just roast a bunch of these up for later poisons. Tartine. Paste. Oh, shoot, I wasn't going to do that. See if it works with these. Ah. It has to be those eggs then. That is twice now I've made a mess of that. That's annoying. Make jam. Make jerky. Make some meat stew like that. There we go. Now, I'm going to bring the Gabbery tartines to sell. Away. Put that away. Now, I'm going to make a healing potion. What else have we got for alchemy? really want to experiment with those. They're too rare. Okay. That's enough for a bit of alchemy, I think. If I remember right, I found your alchemy kit and it's on the beach. I know what you're thinking, Kellen. Why would you leave your alchemy kit on the beach? And the answer is, because that's where I've put it. And so I could bring it indoors and it would make the kitchen super hot because I've got to put it on a campfire. And I cannot be arsed with that. Meanwhile, if I put it down here, then it's next to the fresh water source. And water is a handy ingredient in alchemy. Like I can strongly recommend, having access to fresh water as a benefit in practicing alchemy. Right. So I'll make that life potion and go manual recipe. And I'm going to combine that with a ghost eye, which is going to make me mist potion, increases ethereal damage and resistance. And then I'm going to experiment a bit because I remember that there is a way. I can't remember the exact recipe. Something like that? No. That? No. Oh, what was it? Some combination that does something, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. But I've got enough of these to actually experiment with. Oh. Disassemble the alchemy kit. Thank you. Or salt. Will do for now. Right. What did it work? Is it like poison one metal? Poison one salt? No. Bother it all. It's annoying when I know there's a recipe and I can't remember it. But hey, it's not like I was short on any of those, so. And we did mist potions. I actually need mist potions right now, but again, when you get things for free and then you sell them, that's profit. And we need profits to buy skills.
Can I help you?
Hello, yes, please buy my jam sandwiches and my meat stew. And pop us back over 101, which is good. So we've got another gold bar in the offing here.
Greetings, friend.
Hello, sell me one of your gold bars, Fishmonger Carl. Ugh, food waste. I hate getting rid of food waste. this game... You know what? After a jump button, what this game needs is a destroy this thing option. Because sometimes you just have a thing and you just want it to go away. And the only way to manage that is to dump it in a cave somewhere and wait for the cave to respawn. Which is like... not really what I want to be doing. Okay. So that's all of them. That's fixed. Yeah, so we need to fix all this stuff up. So I'm going to do 3 hours repairing first. So I've not done any guarding while I sleep, and that's because I keep sleeping in safe places. Watch out for the butterflies, people. They are your friends. Okay, how are we looking? That's fixed. That's still damaged. That shield's going to take some repair. But let's fix up the bow. Another 3 hours for that. So yeah, this time around in the stream we went a little bit further afield, navigated our way around the mountain for fun and profit. Let's equip the shield again. In the process we learned about ambushing and why it is our friend, and also skills, which are even more our friend. We also learned that well, I don't know what else we learned. I don't know what we learned. I ain't a teacher. I ain't a boss of you. Learn nothing if you like. Oh, needs more fixing. I'm not going to bother with the harpoon. It's like there was another harpoon in that hollow tree trunk, which I'm going to go past again, so stuff it. There we go, that's everything fixed up. Another harpoon. I do have another harpoon right there. Just going to ditch that one. Alright, and I'm going to leave that session there. I will gear up next time and head back out for another session of Outward. Thank you everybody for joining me in the stream, and I'm excited to see if anyone's left me anything in the chat this time. So thank you, and until next week, goodbye and have fun.